Hello and welcome back to another episode of Combat Corner. My name's Kobe.
My name's Jackson.
Today we have a whole bunch to talk about, a lot to unpack from over the weekend.
Yeah, once again, just the Monday show, breaking down what happened over the weekend. Breaking down the mainly Lewis versus Almeida fight card event that happened in Brazil.
The other bits of drama to dig into, bits of news, that kind of stuff. But yeah, we will get right into it now. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Combat Corner.
Woof!
Oh, there we go.
That was a hell of a, wasn't it? That was really
better than last week's.
Yeah, right into it.
Fuck, that's just
the non-alcoholic drink that we'll be sipping on today, ladies and gentlemen, is Iron Brew.
Iron Brew. Who was
a sparkling soft drink with a unique blend of mixed fruit flavors.
Have you tried this before?
No, I haven't. This was recommended to us via our Instagram page.
Thank you very much, Harry. Thank you, Harry. You won the competition. You win nothing because you don't deserve it.
Well, the competition really was what I could find at the supermarket out of what people people answered. And I wasn't really comfortable buying full cream milk to drink on the episode. Maybe we will review that one day.
We could do.
Either way, first thoughts, you're quite a fan?
I love Iron Brew. I've liked Iron Brew for quite a while. And yeah, I'm a big fan. Big fan. What about you? What do you think?
Kobe's a big brew guy.
Brew man.
Yeah, like I said, first time trying it. It's very nice. It's very nice.
It's quite sweet, but it's quite unique as well. So
yeah.
Yeah, very nice. I'm gonna be chugging that one down. I think I'll be done with this. I might need to urinate.
That's fair enough. We we don't normally disclose that kind of stuff at the start, guys, but today we're feeling a bit more open and honest. Open and orange, I almost said, but
open and orange.
You know, we don't want that
like
dehydrated. Yeah, that's right. Just like a can of Iron Brew. What do you think about the fights going down over the weekend, Kobe?
Oh yeah, there were a couple of fights. Obviously, there's a couple of fights. A pretty average fight card that we've already kind of talked about a little bit. But going over the results, obviously, let's talk about the main event first. Let's unpack that one.
Yeah, let's click on the main event then.
So, main card, obviously, Derek Lewis fought Almeida. It kind of went down.
I think I nearly fell asleep.
Yeah, it was pretty disappointing, to be honest.
Like the time that Derek spent on his feet, he looked all right.
Okay.
And Almeida even didn't look too bad on the feet either, but you could just tell the whole time he was waiting to shoot a takedown.
Yeah, you could tell. Derek just looked like a bit of a fish out of water when it came to the wrestling, which he has done before. There was a few times that he managed to stuff the takedown, but it just ended. It was like an inevitability that he was going to take him down eventually.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a bit of a shame, you know.
It was like over 21 minutes of ground control time, which is it's incredible, really. Like you wouldn't expect someone like Derek has got to the position where he has without kind of, you know,
learning any sort of
just a little bit of jiu-jitsu wrestling, you know, those kind of. But I mean, to his credit, he has fought for the championship before, and
he has.
It's well known that he does lack these skills.
Yeah, it's pretty. Honestly, you're right. Like, how the hell has he gotten to where he's gotten? And he was like just about to get on another title run, basically. If he won this fight, maybe one more fight after this, he would have been fighting for a belt.
Yeah.
And he has gotten there solely on knocking people spark out. He does what Tyson Fury says he's going to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely spark out.
No, that's true. But yeah, Almeida just had the tools to get him to the ground. But the thing that surprised me, and the commentary team were talking about it a bit as well, he needed to be reminded constantly to stay active on the ground. In terms of, like, he wasn't hitting him. He wasn't looking for submission attempts. He was just gassed and kind of pretty much pinning him down to the ground.
He was just kind of abusing the skills that Derek didn't have.
And
it was a bit disappointing. I really wanted to see him go for the finish, whether that be by submission or TK on the ground, or even, you know, try and strike with Lewis, which might have obviously avoided that because of the one reason.
Well, yeah.
But
yeah, that's the one thing you don't want to do with Derek Lewis.
Yeah, it
but
really is.
He didn't seem to capitalize on the side of the fight that he dominated, which, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and criticize him for not finishing a fight against one of
the top guys at
one of the top guys at heavyweight and one of the most dangerous guys that we've ever seen at heavyweight.
But like saying that Derek didn't have anything against him on the ground, you would have thought like, some of the transitions by Almeida were beautiful. Like you were like looking at it, and I really thought this guy is brilliant at jiu-jitsu. It felt like he could have found the finish, and he just was kind of happy enough to just coast. Like you mentioned, maybe he was gassed. But when you can just step into mount and you can step out of mount and then get back into mount and so easily, you should be able to find some form of submission or at least attempt a couple of submissions. Yeah, it's a disappointing all round, really. Almeida's performance. He's not going to buy himself any fans with that performance.
I don't think so. No. I mean, you go in there and you have a decent fight with Derek Lewis. Like after the third round, I was still invested at that point. Do you know what I mean? Going into the fourth and fifth was where it's like, oh, okay, he's just going to do the same thing. Like, I thought, once he tied him out on the ground, he might try something a little bit different. But no, he just kept taking him to the ground and sitting on him.
Yeah.
And as someone who like
tactic.
Well, yeah, it wasn't interesting to watch, was it?
It wasn't. Lewis, he had some moments where you were kind of like, oh, could he rally something here? Like he'd stuff a takedown or he'd manage to stay on his feet for a couple minutes.
Yeah, every time he managed to stay on his feet for a couple of minutes, you were like, oh, maybe, and then you just remember that he's going straight back to the ground again.
And it would happen every single time.
Yeah.
There was a couple of winging, kind of like uppercuts, a few haymakers here and there that you thought, maybe we're going to have another Volkov moment. But it didn't even look like it was going to happen.
No.
He just looked like a fish out of water. And similar to what happened with DC.
Yeah. After he spent the first 2, maybe 3, 2.5 rounds on the ground, you could just see it in his face. Yeah. But yeah, fair enough. I mean, I wouldn't like to be pinned down and sat on for the best part of a 5-round fight. Yeah, by a black belt.
Huge black belt.
Yeah. Well, not so huge in comparison to Derek Lewis.
What I was going to say. That guy,
30-pound weight difference.
He's huge, man. He is ripped. Like, how much did he weigh? Like, was it 230?
Must have been somewhere around there. Yeah.
That is insane for a heavyweight to weigh 230, which is it's a pretty light heavyweight.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think he did come from light heavyweight, but it's a pretty on the light side of heavyweight.
Very much so.
But he can control one of the biggest heavyweights like that. That is very impressive for a lighter guy. He's slick. He could do damage in that top 5 for sure.
I think that's where he belongs. Like in terms of the fights to pick for him next. I mean, I'd like to see him. Yeah, maybe get one more test and then. I mean, I would normally say fight for the belt, but who knows what's happening with the heavyweight belt at the moment?
Who has any idea?
But who do you want to see Almeida up against next?
I'd like to see him fight Blades, who he was supposed to fight before he got injured. I think with everyone else out, already booked. There's maybe like Cyril Gahn, he's there. But Blades just seems to be a good test. Blades is a wrestler. He will be able to stuff a takedown. He will have a decent ability against him on the ground if it does hit the ground. It's a proper test. Derek Lewis obviously is a scary opponent, but his range of skills don't pose
they're limited. Yeah,
someone like that. Yeah,
exactly.
So Blades, I think. What do you have any other ideas?
Well, it's funny you kind of brushed over Cyril Gahn because I think that fight there would be very interesting. You've got one guy who's been blitzing everyone with, like, before this fight went 5 rounds against Lewis, he was kind of just going in there and taking guys out in the first, second round, dragging them to the ground and choking them out however he pleased. So it'd be nice to see him go in there against someone like Cyril, who has the whole striking side of things so technically down. And we have seen some stuff on the ground from Cyril as well. It's definitely not going to be to the standard that Almeida's ground game is, but it would be interesting.
It would be an interesting matchup for sure.
Yeah, I think Cyril's lateral movement, like back and forth, is a really big tool of his, and that's something that you don't see Derek have.
No, he's much more stationary.
Yeah, he's a stationary guy. So yeah, I think that fight would really interest me.
That's an interesting one. The only thing that I worry about if that fight was to happen is, like, you look at what Francis was able to do on the ground to Cyril Gane. Francis, someone who isn't a traditional wrestler or doesn't have a jiu-jitsu background, albeit he's an amazing fighter, don't get me wrong, and a huge, strong guy. If a jiu-jitsu specialist got hold of Cyril Gane, I think that would happen as well. And you look at what John Jones did to Cyril Gane as well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He submitted him so easily. It's almost as if Almeida could probably just go in there, avoid a couple punches. And it's not like Cyril Gane is one to knock you out right there, right then, like a Derek Lewis or an Ngannou or a.
Well, he's got some power.
He does. But it's more of a volume to a finish, if you know what I mean, usually. So I worry for Gane in that fight that he would maybe get a few punches off, but before he could really settle in, he'd be taken down and submitted. But we need those questions answered, right? So that's why it would be a great fight. It would be a great fight. I think either Blades or Gane. Gotta be. Both in the top 5. We check out the heavyweight rankings, see what's up there.
That's a good idea.
Let's pull the screen onto the screen. So, how's your day been, Jackson?
Long.
Yeah. No.
So you know what?
Same here.
We had one of these last week. How's the weather been today? It's a very similar day. That people are going to get bored with these weather reports because it's just always overcast and
we live in a society.
The land of the long white cloud.
That is literally our nickname. Those who didn't know.
Not us in particular, just our country.
Could be. So yeah, well, let's take a wee look at the landscape of the land of the long white. The heavyweight division. So John Jones, obviously champ.
Obviously,
he won the championship.
Very
so he
obviously.
is the champ.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Obviously, Pavlovich and Aspinall are both booked up together, coming up next weekend, actually. So that they're obviously out of the picture unless he wants to wait around, but I don't really consider those two a viable option for him. Miocic, obviously he's supposed to be fighting Jones. Blades and Gane, they're the two in the top 5 that haven't been matched up.
Yeah.
Volkov's been doing well. Volkov has been doing really well recently.
Maybe a Volkov versus Gane, Curtis Blades versus Almeida.
Yeah. Because Volkov's already a little bit higher up. So yeah, Volkov versus Gane, that would be a fight. I don't think they've fought. I'm pretty sure they haven't fought. You remember that at all?
No.
Yeah, that there's a lot of fun fights to make. It is a bit log jammed at the top, but a lot of fun fights to make. Obviously got Tuivasa, but Almeida already beat him, didn't he?
It's very log jammed at the top.
It is.
I suppose that's what you get when you haven't had an active champion in such a long time.
Yeah, exactly. Since Stipe, really. So yeah, interesting. Derek Lewis. I'd like to see him have a fun fight next. Instead of one of these young, hungry, up and coming monsters, put him up against a striker. Run it back with Tuivasa. I don't think anyone would be upset with that.
No one would be upset with that.
Derek Lewis versus Ty would be a really good fight.
That fight the first time round was beautiful.
It
was one of those things you get exactly what you want to see in a heavyweight fight. There's two guys that are going in there and there is absolutely no chance it goes to the ground. They're both just slugging. And that's exactly what it turned out to be as well.
It was. The knockout was beautiful too.
The knockout was phenomenal.
It was a sad fight. I didn't want either of those guys to lose. I think we discussed that when it happened. It was one of those ones that's they both go in there and you're like, there's no one I want to lose, but I want to see them fight.
Everyone kind of thought it was a bit of a passing of the torch at the time as well, with Tai Tuivasa kind of being a little bit younger than Derek and had been on a hell of a tear at that point, knocking a hell of a lot of people out. But since then, it's really tapered off for him as well.
It has, unfortunately. He's not looked the same.
Since that loss to Cyril Gane, he's had another loss to Pavlovich.
Yeah, Pavlovich.
Which was ugly.
It was.
Yeah.
No, it's a shame. Shame about Ty, but he'll be back, I'm sure.
He will. No doubt.
He's a killer. Well, I guess we'll move on to the co-main. That was also a very interesting fight. What were your thoughts on the co-main?
Yeah, Nicholas Delby looked like he looked really good.
He did. He looked excellent.
He did exactly what he needed to do in order to get the job done. Like Bonfim, there was a lot of hype around him coming into that fight, especially being unbeaten. But I think before the fight, I heard Delby in one of the interviews saying, "Oh, he's never fought someone with the experience I have and the people that I've fought." And like it's kind of one of those things. At the time you hear it, you're like, "Yeah, righto, mate." But that's exactly how it looked when they went in there.
It did, yeah. It looked like Bonfim was kind of overconfident. He went in there to absolutely demolish him.
Yeah,
and looked good.
He did look good for the first round and a half, maybe.
But he looked wild, and he looked like he absolutely burned himself out, which you see so many times with these young guys.
Yeah. Well, once they get on a little bit of a momentum streak, and they've beaten a few people in a row, and quit like early in the rounds. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get that idea in your head that you're just going to go in there and do that to everyone.
And
in
like
reality,
ego takes over a bit.
Yeah, most definitely. What are you laughing at?
I don't know. I actually don't know what I'm laughing at. I was
just having a giggle.
Yeah, I've just got like, you know, when actors are trying to do a scene and then they just start laughing out of the blue for like no reason, and then they do the take and they keep laughing. You know what I mean? I'm
very familiar with how movies are made.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's like that. Like you just like start laughing for no reason, and then you're like, stop laughing. You just can't stop. But anyway.
Thanks, Kobe.
It's my issue. Maybe I'll get over it. But yeah, Dalby looked epic. He looked really good. He weathered the storm, came out, didn't look in any massive danger, although Bonfim was very aggressive. He didn't look like he was in much danger of being finished or anything like that. So quite impressive.
Yeah. Well, it was the last minute as well in that second round, and then Bonfim, you could see him like looking up to the clock. I think when there was about 2 minutes to go, and that was when Dalby really turned it on.
That was a bad sign. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 minutes to go, and you're looking at the clock. It's never a good sign.
It kind of like signaled the end. It looked like he looked up at the clock and he was like, 2 minutes. What? There's no way I'm. And then he just kind of resigned that he was going to lose, and he barely could even stand up after the fight.
No.
Yeah, for real crazy prospect, and he's wasn't the best look for him.
But like you say, it happens to a lot of these young guys, and I think the thing that also happens a lot is these guys do pick themselves up, they rush themselves off, and they look at the tape and they go, "Yeah, I did gas myself out. I did go way too hard in that first round. I did go in there and fight from an ego point of view rather than, fighting with a game plan." So it'll be interesting to see if he comes out next time looking a bit more polished. And kind of keeps those weapons at bay for a little bit longer rather than just going in there and showing his opponent exactly what he's got to offer.
Yeah. No, 100%. I completely agree.
You're about to have another giggle again.
No, I absolutely agree. Usually these fighters, they take the loss and then they come back the next fight and they're kind of like a different fighter in a way. Usually they take quite a bit of time off as well. It'll be interesting to see if we see Bonfim take a year or whatever off to sharpen his skills. Because he looks like he's got it. He's got everything that he needs to be really good. It's just that it was that main one thing. Absolutely blew himself out of the water and so but yeah, nothing away from Dalby. What else happened? The third fight, that heavyweight fight, Pereira and Mize was.
It started strong.
Yeah, but they really.
And then they just really fell asleep.
Especially Mize, he just didn't look like he wanted to be there.
No. For the majority of the fight, he had some good moments. But yeah, as the fight went on, they were just few and far between. But yeah, that first round, it looked like this fight isn't gonna last very long, and then that feeling just slowly weared away.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, they both just looked like they got really tired really quickly, and again, not a good look when you're the third highest fight on a card. You want to be performing and being able to last the whole time. It's a bit unfortunate, that one actually. It was. Yeah, it did. It looked good at the start, but then as soon as it got into the second round, it was just kind of died off.
Yeah, 100%. there was well, that's like we say the second fight that's happened in.
Yeah.
And it goes back like there was four ranked people on this whole card.
Yeah.
So the experience factor there is really lacking.
Mm.
So I mean, you can probably expect that kind of thing a little bit more from these guys in terms of not having that experience and cutting down the weight and then getting your gas tank back to a full capability.
No, absolutely.
But at the same time, if you're building a fight card, you want to make sure that these kind of, performances aren't one after the other. Yeah.
Because this was kind of like a prospect card, right? They wanted to build a couple prospects, but maybe it's not the best idea for the UFC to do a full prospect card. They need a couple of top stars, top experienced stars in there in the mix to keep it running, so that we can have some real top quality performances. But they're not saying there wasn't some top quality performances, but having like 2 veterans on there that go the whole time and it's a complete banger.
Yeah.
Instead of just having someone who fights his heart out for one round and gasses because of inexperience, having that littered through a whole card it's not a good look.
No.
I think what we called out about this card, it kind of came true.
Yeah, I think so. We both did, and that's the thing. Like, the prelims were great. The prelims, there was you may not have seen the prelims, but there was quite a few good fights on there. And it was really interesting, and I enjoyed it. But it's like as soon as the main card ticked over, it just
died.
Yeah, it died.
It's always a shame when that happens. What was your favorite of all the fights? What was your favorite apart from Almeida and Lewis? Obviously, that was your favorite, but.
Oof, you're gonna have to bring up the prelims because I'm
bring it up.
Like we said yesterday, I'm not gonna remember the names. Oh, actually, no, it was a women's fight, the strawweight one with Angela Hill. She fought a great fight.
She did. There. You're right.
Okay.
Disclaimer, guys. I didn't manage to watch the whole thing, unfortunately. I was actually walking a dog, and I got back too late. Bit of a missight by me.
Wow.
Sorry. But Jackson watched it, and he is extremely qualified in this field. Oh, I watched Mark Dessy, actually. He looked pretty good.
Yeah, he did. Wrestling a lot.
Yeah.
That was he's another one of those guys who's got quite a decent toolkit, and every time he goes out there, he seems to bring something new to the octagon. So yeah, that was another good fight.
Yeah. It seems like he could get up there. With a few more good performances.
Saying that, the guy that he was in there against, another new up and coming guy.
Yeah.
Also guessed.
Where is McDessie from?
The UK, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought so, but it says the Republic of Congo. But maybe English. English professional. Yeah. So he's English, but he must have been. Well, originally he's from
the Congo.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty average fight card. I'm pretty glad that we've got a nice big card coming up this weekend. I've been like missing a big card. I wanted, to the Islam versus Volk wasn't that long ago, but it feels like it was ages ago.
It does feel like it was ages ago, and that was built up to be a big card, and then the ass fell out of it in the last minute. So the feeling of it being a big card kind of got washed away by all the changes and stuff that were riddled throughout.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like you say, a massive card coming up this weekend, so that's exciting.
Very exciting, very very exciting. Should we move on?
I think so.
From that topic. So there was one thing that I noticed, which was a bit funny. You might have seen this, but you might have not. Ariel Helwani announced on his Instagram that apparently the UFC were targeting Toronto in January for Islam versus Charles 2. Apparently that was like the thing. And the next day Dana comes out and he assures everyone that it's not on January. They're going to do it, but at a different date.
Yeah.
So apparently that was the plan. Dana's probably heard that Ariel, because he probably heard that he said it and just been like, no, it's not. Don't announce my fights. Just completely changed the idea.
Yeah, but because he also said that they're not going to headline that, are they?
Yeah, I think he said they're not. That's not the date that they're going to be on. They are going to fight,
right?
But it's not going to be that date.
Okay.
So basically, Helwani came out and he must have had some insight from someone, and he said, "Yeah, look, the UFC are planning to do this fight on Toronto.
Why would you put Charles and Islam in Toronto? Like
I don't know, really.
we're waiting for this Volk versus Taporia match.
Yeah, well, apparently that was targeted for January.
Yeah,
but they're pushing that back to February now because I'm guessing because Volk got knocked out, it's probably a good idea not.
Yeah.
Apparently that is now being targeted for February, so I'm not sure where or whatever. But it's, none of this is confirmed. It's just speculation.
Love a bit of speculation, don't we?
Here
in the
we do
in the combat corner.
Combat corner. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. It's just funny to see Dana spite Ariel because he just absolutely despises him.
Yeah.
Do you know the backstory around that?
Yeah, I've seen a bit of it. Well, Ariel used to work for the UFC, and then
he worked really closely with.
Well, it was with ESPN, wasn't it? That he was like the main reporter on that whole.
I think it was before that they fell out.
Oh, okay.
It was around UFC 200 that I think the big falling out was.
Yeah.
So Ariel found out that they were going to do Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar was returning for 200, and he announced it before the UFC had announced it.
Right.
Dana absolutely threw a shit fit, just went off at him, banned him from all UFC events, so he's not allowed to go to the UFC events anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure that's even like watching the fights, but mainly like media and all that stuff. So he's not allowed to ask questions, which he quite a lot. So yeah, he did that, and Ariel had a big cry on his show, and literally was like crying. He was like, "The bully," which he kind of is. But
well,
yeah, ever since then he's not been allowed at UFC event.
Yeah, well, I can understand that, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he if you're gonna mess with someone's business like that, at the end of the day, expects. Yeah,
I think Ariel came back and he said, "Look, I'm a reporter. I found this stuff out. I'm reporting on news that I found, you know." And I think that there'd been a bit of a stigma from Dana White that like he wanted to get rid of Ariel for a long time.
Right.
He was waiting for that moment. So it was a real interesting bit of drama. But anyways, nowadays anything Ariel does, he just does anything to spite him.
Yeah.
So people online are just like, Dana figured it out.
I think on the other hand, though, it's really impressive that he has just remained the #1 MMA reporter in the world.
Sure it is.
Considering the fact, he's not allowed at any of the main organization in terms of MMA's events.
You look at a lot of the other guys that are doing the media now. I think Ariel used to ask like questions, deep diving questions. He was trying to get to the bottom of some stuff. But a lot of people now, I think they know they're in a decent place, so they don't ask questions that are too out there.
Right.
They just kind of ask him the questions he wants you to ask him,
kind
of thing. But Ariel wasn't like that.
No.
He was good. Shame that he's not allowed.
Yeah, we do need someone in terms of one of these MMA journalists to kind of push the boat out a little bit more and kind of ask some hard hitting stuff. It's
tough, man. Yeah, it would be good, but it's again, you can't bite the hand that feeds you.
No.
At the end of the
that's
day.
What he did. Yeah.
That's exactly what he did, and other people, John Morgan and that, they've learned from it. And fair play, they're in a pretty good spot.
If you're gonna piss like a puppy, get off the porch and let the big dogs eat.
There you go.
That's some advice for you, Ariel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love you, Ariel.
Yeah.
Ariel.
Stop pissing on the porch, mate.
Pissing on the porch, man. We love all the. Oh, well, I love most of them.
Yeah,
pretty good.
There's some good content out there.
There is some good content. Corner.
Even more to content corner. Even more to come. What else have we got today?
Well, bridging from that, another Ariel Helwani discussion. There was a big debate with Helwani and Chael Sonnen.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that.
Pretty funny, eh?
It wasn't too bad. I mean, I got pretty bored. I'm not gonna lie. Like those two going back and forth. It's like a couple of teenage girls sometimes. Like they're almost listening to each other, waiting for the other person to say something so they can call them out on it. It's something.
It is something. It really is something. It is like that though. You're right.
What were they debating again? Like I watched the majority of the video, but I can't even remember what they were debating now.
I think they were trying to debate. I think the basics are. Ariel basically kind of said from the very start that this Francis Ngannou move was fruitful. You know, this is good.
Okay, that's right.
Thing.
Yeah.
But Chael obviously works for the UFC. He's got a good relationship with Dana. I think he kind of was trying to not shit on him, but you know, like
so that he fumbled the bag. He was one of the people. Yeah, one of the many who took that stance.
Yeah, and they just disagreed on that. And I think Ariel kind of thought Chael was being a bit of a suck up to Dana White because you know he's a company man and stuff, and obviously Ariel despises Dana because of what he did to him. So it all drags back to that. So that's kind of what they were arguing about, but they were just going in circles, just bickering for the point of bickering. Chael got really pissed at some points. You could tell Chael wanted to beat him.
Yeah. Imagine how easy that would be for him as well. And Chael's looking bulk now, I gotta say as well.
He is.
He's staring right down the eye of the camera still, and he's looking chonky.
Yeah, he is. He's big, and he's like, have you noticed? It was one of the comments on that video actually, and it was talking about Chael Sonnen's got the Donald Trump hand signals off to a T because he's always going like doing all the little
yeah. He keeps his hands busy.
He does.
That's something that you and I struggle with a lot. In these...
I do it quite a lot. I think you're more like chill than I am.
I'm very fidgety though.
Right. Yeah.
I'll destroy the sides of my fingernails. Yeah. That's just some take home information about me.
Yeah. I do the same, man. I try and do it to you see how one of my hands is off camera and one of them's on.
Crafty.
Yeah.
I don't have that luxury.
No, you don't.
I could maybe put one down here or something. That wouldn't look weird to anyone, would it? Yeah. Is this seating position okay for you guys? You guys look happy with this?
You look beautiful.
I know that, but I'm just wondering about the seating position. I know.
What do you think about the hands as well?
Yeah. You got any thoughts on our hands? Yeah. Can you
rate my hands? About that. Anyways, so yeah, we kind of went over that. It's funny, man. I love watching debates.
It is good
entertainment.
It is good entertainment. I just didn't have time for it with the fact, like I said, they sounded like a couple of teenage girls.
Babies.
And yeah, they were just bickering a lot of the time.
They didn't get to any
no real points.
I watched the whole thing and they didn't figure anything out at all. They just got more angry as time went on.
Like we struggled just a second ago to remember what they were actually debating in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, moving on. There was another thing in the week. Ian Gary, we did touch on this the other day. Ian Gary, there's a few more little details come out about Ian Gary.
Nice.
It's split from Leon Edwards' gym. He wasn't there full time, but he'd obviously trained there a couple times.
Yep.
And he actually ended up calling Leon a bitch.
Ooh.
Leon's a bitch. So apparently,
big words.
Champ is.
I mean, that's a hot take. I mean, there's probably, there's at least 20 welterweights that would disagree with that.
Yeah.
In terms of the ones that have been on the
bad side.
On the bad side of Leon, in terms of being in the losing column against Leon.
Yeah. Including
one of the greatest to ever do it. Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
And
but yeah, fair chat, Ian Gary.
Yeah, shot Ian.
Yeah.
You know what he's doing though.
Yeah, exactly. He's trying to build up a fight.
Yeah.
Fight for the belt.
He's a smart guy. He is a smart guy. If you can give Ian Gary anything, he's a great striker and he's a smart man when it comes to marketing. He knows how to get his name out there.
These crafty Irishmen, isn't it?
No, they're good at their sales, aren't they?
They are.
And they're drinking.
Yeah, two things.
Drinking.
Sales and drinking.
They're really good at that. I was going to say this is an Irish drink, but it's not. It's a Scottish drink. But yeah, I found that quite interesting. I heard Michael Bisping talk about it a little bit, which was quite entertaining. Yeah, I mean, it is pretty obvious what he's trying to do. He's trying to sell a fight with Leon down the line, and that's a very real possibility if he wins his next fight and then maybe one more. He could get thrown into.
Is he booked at the moment?
He is, Vicente Luque.
That's right. Yeah, that's this week, isn't it? Or is it on the?
Could be the next one.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah,
you might be right. But either way, that's a good test for him. And yeah, I think, like you say, there's definitely one more fight at least in it before he goes for a shot at the strap. But yeah, he's a really exciting prospect because we've seen a lot of a lot of times, yeah, guys will get to this point in their career where he's at. You know, he's now ranked in the top 10, I believe. So yeah, it's this is the real deciding fight for me. Whether we're going to see a guy who is a championship contender, or he is just someone that we will see float in and out of the top 15 for the next 5 years until he retires. Because we've got a lot of those.
We do. Well, like just going back to Bonfim as an example this weekend, big hot prospect, blew his load way too early, and now he's got a big mountain to climb to get back top to where he was. Ian hasn't faltered like that so far, and if he can beat a tough contender like Luque, who's a dangerous, scary opponent, and a guy that he's trained with in the past, that's a big positive sign for him. And then, like you say, maybe one more fight. Think of the top guys. You know, maybe Bilal Muhammad, if he's willing to take that. Someone like that. And
there's another top contender welterweight fight at the moment between Wonderboy booked against
Rachmanov, Shavkat. Yeah. That would be a good fight. Whoever wins that against Gary and the winner of Gary and Luque for the title.
Thinking a bit ahead of yourself there. You got If Gary wins, I think the winner of that fight, maybe the winner of that fight just goes. I think the loser of that fight versus the winner of Luque versus Gary.
You think so?
Yeah, because who's the champ going to fight next? I mean,
surely Bilal.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I completely forgot the name. But yeah, no, okay. Yeah, then Ian Gary or Vincent Luque against
Vincent Luque.
All right, mate.
I got to do it, man. I'm going to call you out. You can call me out anytime I do dumb stuff. It's quite often. I've been giggling like half the episode.
Yeah, that's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. I have to pop a disclaimer in the name that I'm bloody like, I can't stop laughing. At least I'm happy.
He's stoked.
What was I going to say?
Probably something stupid.
Yeah, I am basically, that's all I do, right?
I'm just defensive now. I'm getting very defensive. This is twice in 2 episodes. Yep. No,
okay, avocado.
You're going to struggle doing this by yourself, mate. I'll tell you that much. All right? We're 4 episodes in, and this is the kind of way you're going to treat me.
Oh, it's all just a bit of fun, you know? We've got to have barbs for us to be funny.
What's next on your little...
Anyway, one thing I wanted to say before we move on, Bilal Muhammad, he's got to be waiting for the winner of Colby and Leon Edwards. Whoever wins, obviously, goes into that fight against Bilal. I think he deserves it.
Yeah.
The winner of Rachmanov and Stevens fights the winner of Gary and Luque. Winner of that fights for the title. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Kind of missing out Gilbert Burns here, but he lost to forget the name. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, he did. He's another guy that if he wants to be active, he'll be active.
Yeah, for sure.
And
we need some time.
Yeah. He will just take any fight. Like, he'll walk in there against anyone. Gilbert Burns is incredible. And every time he goes in there, you know, you're going to see a good fight.
Yeah.
No, I mean, maybe not so much last time, because didn't he get injured like in the second round of that fight or something like that?
He tore his bicep or something.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. But yeah, we've seen some bangers from him before.
We have. No, he's top class, man. Hopefully he comes back and he's healthy and he can have a real top fight against a top 5 guy. That's whether he still wants it, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah. Should we move on?
I think so.
See what's going on. Sorry, guys, I've got my notes on my phone this time. We're running a bit late, so we just started. But yeah, there's been a big rumor outside of the UFC that apparently the PFL has finalized their deal with Bellator.
Okay.
It's just a rumor. It's not confirmed. No one's come out and confirmed it yet. But apparently that could be a done deal, and we could hear that news in the coming kind of week or so.
Right. Yeah. That would be interesting. That would open up a lot of fights for someone like Francis.
It would, yeah. Against their top heavyweight guys. Apparently what's going to happen, though, is Bellator will continue running as Bellator for another 2 years. Then they'll merge.
Right.
So they'll own it.
It's never simple, is it?
It isn't. Why?
You know,
just get rid of it. No one.
These kind of Who's watching?
Who's watching? Just continue the Bellator thing, but with PFL.
Yeah.
Is that hard? I don't know.
Bellator.
BFL.
Yeah, the
Bellator
BFL.
League, that's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. Yeah, Francis gives him a good opportunity to fight a top heavyweight. Should we look at who they have in their heavyweight rankings? Bellator.
Oh, let's do that. I'm sure they got some big names on board, and that's not why their company's failing.
Yeah. No. Ryan Bader, I believe he is he the champ? Yeah, so he's
Darth
Ryan
Bader.
Bader's the champ. Darth Bader.
Oh.
Czech Congo, he's getting on though,
The darkness.
The darkness. Can you see him? They've got a few guys. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really take that much note.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You must be one of the only. I know,
you're a massive fan.
Countless Bellator fans. They're out there.
Yeah, I know a lot of Bellator fans who don't even watch the UFC.
So I know a lot of Bellator fans that don't even watch Bellator.
Yeah.
Now
that's real.
That's something.
That's like commitment to the next level. Being a huge fan of something. That's like reaching like a new level of consciousness. Being a massive fan of something.
And not even having to watch, yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Never have watched.
Just being really excited for the event tomorrow. Are you going to watch it? No.
Just how I do things. I like to restrict pleasure.
This must be really interesting to listen to.
Yeah. Well,
are you still listening?
Hey, we've got 30 subscribers, Jack.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is our 30 subscriber special.
Yeah, thank you guys. It actually means a lot. We've come a long way. I wrote on the board as well, Combat Corner.
Subscribe.
Please do subscribe. We're going a bit off topic here, but yeah, I see if Bellator does get consumed by PFL, then yeah, I think it's good for both parties and then all parties involved outside of that.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it will be. I mean, maybe we'll still hear nothing about them.
Potentially, yeah. But I mean, there's like a few. Like, I'd like to see Bader fight Francis just so we can get his absolute head caved in. Because Francis is the beast. And there are a couple of other guys over there that would pose a couple problems, maybe. Oh, I don't know. What are we doing? We're trying to like sell this, but
we know nothing about the Bellator heavyweight division, and you probably don't either, whoever you are listening to this, unless you are one of them. I mean, that's the thing. If I was a Bellator heavyweight, I'd probably give a shit. Other than that, I can't think of any other reason in the world why I would. What reason have Bellator given me?
Because they might get to fight Francis. It's like the jackpot of money-wise. I mean, it's not fun.
It's not going to be a fight, is it?
No.
It's going to be like watching a bulldozer pile over a steaming pile of manure. It'll just drive straight over it.
What if this happens?
And then the like
gets knocked
flattened piece of shit that splats out the back. That's what'll be left of whoever Francis fights.
Ryan Bader's a good fighter.
I'm sure he is.
He's a good wrestler. He seems like he's about half the size of Francis.
Oh, that can't be a problem.
I mean, Francis is just really big.
He'll be fine.
He fought John Jones.
How'd that go?
He lost.
And that was when he was, a light heavyweight?
That's when he was a light heavyweight, yeah.
Wow.
But he's beaten Fedor, a few other people,
Fedor in his prime, I imagine, too.
Yeah.
Would have been in Fedor's prime, yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what happens there. Honestly, there's a few interesting things that might happen. It's more interesting to see if, maybe PFL merges with Bellator and then we see like a crossover with one championship, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I just want more competitions and more excitement. The UFC is great, but it would be cool to have a couple more.
But there's not many other sports in the world that this is like there's one sole
really
entity. Because it's not like there is just one sole entity, but the other organizations, they're not up to much. Well, they are, but they're not really getting to many people.
No.
I mean, obviously, one has quite a grip on the Asian market, and recently, a little bit in Australia,
pushing their way in.
And Australasia and those kinds of areas. They have been pushing
knocking on the front door.
But yeah, they're just still not. I don't have the names. They're building some of them up though.
Yeah,
I mean, it's good. Like Rod Tang is someone that you wouldn't have known about.
Haggerty, who just won over the
yep,
weekend.
Haggerty. He's another another name that's getting a bit more popularized.
Super exciting fighter.
Yeah. Moving on.
Mm.
Should we rate this drink?
Let's give it a rate.
I've been very happy with it.
I'm gonna say thank you very much, Harry. You recommended this drink, and I'm a big fan.
More
Really
so,
big
thank
fan.
you, Iron Brew.
Yeah, thank you, Iron. A lot of iron in this as well.
That's great.
Decent amount of sugar. Well, not too bad. But you know, I really like it.
Mm.
I really like it.
It was tasty. Well,
I mean, better than Wang Lao.
That's the question. Is it better than Wang Lao G herbal tea? And the answer is, of course it is.
Of course it is.
Wang Lao G. We just wanted to start off on a rough note there with that one. Iron Brew takes its claim at the top of the non-alcoholic list.
Easily.
What
would you want to rate that one, by the way? We don't have the rating here, but we did rate Wang Lao as a.
I gave it a. Yeah, you gave it a 1. I gave it a 1.49.
It was about 1.25.
Yeah.
That's what that is. That was our previous top.
That's out of 10 as well, by the way. That's not out of like 2 or 5 or something like that. That's out of 10.
1 point whatever. So, what are we thinking about Iron Brew?
I'm going to give that 7.93.
7.93.
7.93. It's not quite an 8, but it could be on a good day.
On a good day. Like, I don't know if it was cold, because it was kind of warm.
Under peak conditions, that could be an 8.
Okay.
Right now,
give it an 8.
You know, I've just come from the doctors. I'm not feeling so much like an Iron Brew, but it's what I've got. So 7.93.
7.9. I'll give it an 8. So in the middle, 7.97.
Smack bang in the middle.
Pretty good. I would definitely have it again.
Would recommend.
Recommend, guys.
Found in the international aisle at Countdown, priced at $2.30 a can. But that's on special, folks. So get in and get it while it's on sale.
Yeah, go now.
Yeah.
It's only got 3 minutes left.
Just pause this episode. Don't click out of the tab. Don't do that. Just pause it. Come back to it later once you've got yourself an Iron Brew.
Or get it on Spotify. Take it out. Put your headphones on. Go for a wander.
Yeah, take us in the car.
Go for a drive.
Take us for a little drive somewhere.
Yeah.
We'll keep you company.
I guess that's it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, it's been an absolute banger.
It's been a banger. There's been so much news to talk about. Talk about staying consistent, eh? When barely any news to talk about, we'll always be here for you.
Yeah,
we will. Just wanted to say, thank you everyone for the support.
Yeah,
really loving it. Please subscribe to the channel, share us around to anyone that you think might like us. Like the video, comment, all that good stuff. Give us a review and let us know what you want us to do in the future. I've been Kobe.
I've been Jackson, and this has been the Combat Corner. We'll see you on Saturday. Peace.